Dear students, today I will teach you a new chapter, Ranga's Marriage by Maestri Venkatesh Iyengar. In this chapter, I will teach you paragraph wise, I will explain each and everything, and I will go through the vocabulary also. So note all these things. First, I am introducing you what the chapter is about. The story revolves around Ranga, the accountant's son, who got the opportunity to go out of the village to study. The narrator takes you through a journey where he changes Ranga's perception about marriage, how he staged their union with the help of his sastri, and what role English has played in their village. The entire story involves fun instances and references, for the narrator has made sure your mind stays occupied with the story. Starting the first paragraph and the vocabulary, rare breed, a person or thing with characteristics that are uncommon among their kind, a rarity, uncommon. The lesson revolves around Ranga, the village accountant's son, who had just come back from Bangalore. At the news of his arrival, the villagers gather at his home to analyze if he had changed or not, and what is his perception about marriage. Everyone was so excited because during those days, not everyone used to get a chance to go to cities for studying. Second, some words: Viva for marriage, Vijay for victory, and Girija for female. Kalyan, beautiful, lovely, and auspicious in Sanskrit. Sahib means a polite title or form of address for a man. Like a flock of sheep, a group of people behaving in the same way of following what others are doing, like sheep do or sheep does. Cartographer means a person who draws or produces maps, who designs maps. So explanation, the narrator expects the readers to be questioning the simplicity of the title Ranga's Marriage. He feels readers might be thinking of fancier titles like Ranganatha, Viva, Rangnath Viva, Rangnath Vijay, or Girija Kalyan. He clarifies that although he had options of keeping such elaborate names, the reason why he chose the basic and casual one is because the story is about our Ranga, as in someone who is very close and dear to him. They live in a village called Hosahali in Mysore. Not many people know of it, and the narrator does not blame them because there is no trace of it in the geography books. Even the Englishmen have no idea about the place, but they are also not to blame because our citizens too are completely ignorant about his ways. He refers to people as sheep who blindly follow each other and don't use their logic or brain to justify or invent things. At last, he feels the cartographer is also not to be held responsible. As a result, there is no trace of their place on the map. Next paragraph, some words. Bharatvarsh, India, Karigatbu. It is a South Indian fried sweet filled with coconut and sugar. Anna, Anaya, that is written, a respectful term for an elder. Flea pestered dog. A flea pestered dog does not stick to one place but keeps roaming everywhere. Flea pestered means being infested by fleas and ticks which can cause uncontrollable itching in animals. The narrator feels apologetic for getting carried away and deviating from the topic. He then again throws light upon the significance of the village Hasali. Then he tells the readers about the special mango trees in the place, whose mangoes are famous for their special quality. He once took the fruit at home to make chutney, and everyone suffered from a bad cough after eating it. It was only when he went to see the doctor that he told him about the quality of mangoes, that the sourness of the mango will be felt by them till the top of their head where Amrandra is located. Next paragraph and a few words. Behold, B-E-H-O-L-D, behold means to see or observe someone or something, especially of remarkable or impressive nature. Rambling, it is of writing or speech, lengthy and confused or inconsequential, rambling. So next in this paragraph, not only the mangoes, everything in and around this place is remarkable. The creeper growing in the pond and its flowers are also special. One can even serve an afternoon meal on its leaves. All you need, all you need to do is to grab 2 leaves when you are on your way to the pond to bathe. After speaking highly of his village, the narrator says, if anyone wishes to see for himself or herself, one must contact him. He will help them to reach there. Also, he feels that there is no better way to know a place than to visit it. Next, the narrator then brings about a comparison as to how things were different 10 years ago when not many people knew or spoke English. Neither did people send their children to big cities like Bangalore to study. Back then, only the village accountant had the courage to send his son to Bangalore. According to the author, those times were simpler. He justifies his claim by telling an incident where he was at Rama Rao's house and they had just bought a bundle of firewood from an old lady. Rama told her to come next morning as he did not have any change at that moment. The poor old lady did not know what change meant and she went away whispering to herself. Neither did the narrator know its meaning. It was only when he went to Ranga's house that he told him. Next paragraph. However, 10 years ago, English was not commonly spoken in this place, and when the villagers came to know that Ranga, the accountant's son, was coming home from Bangalore, Everyone got excited and rushed to his home to have a glance at him. Next paragraph. Fascinated by all the crowd, the narrator too went there and asked people as to why they were gathered. Because he could not see anything entertaining happening there like a monkey performing, a boy without brains shouted loud enough for everyone to hear and in a rude way. Narrator called him immature. Next paragraph. One word is there. Janevara, Janeu that we say in Hindi, the sacred thread worn by Brahmins. All the people were waiting outside Ranga's house because the place would look like the black hole of Calcutta. If they all went inside. By saying this, the narrator means that there were so many people that the house would have fallen short to accommodate them all. Thus, Ranga came outside with a smile on his face. Everyone was so amazed to see that Ranga had not changed a bit after he left 6 months ago. An old lady even went to the extent of running her hands through his chest to check for a sacred thread. However, she went away after confirming that he had not forgotten about his caste. Next paragraph. Once the villagers realized that Ranga did not change even after moving to the city, they disappeared as fast as a lump of sugar does in a child's mouth. The narrator waited till the crowd cleared and asked him about his well-being. Ranga noticed him and replied with full respect in a traditional way. Ranga had not noticed the narrator in the crowd before that moment. Next paragraph. Ranga was very well behaved and well aware as to who could benefit him. He was one of those who could analyze someone's worth rightfully. For how he greeted the narrator, he bent low and touched his feet, thereby seeking his blessings. It was not the Prajande Namaskar where children would do it casually. It was a proper traditional one. The narrator blessed him that he might get married soon and then left. Next paragraph, a few words. Considerate, thoughtful, concerned. Troupe. What is troupe? Troupe. A group of dancers, actors or other entertainers who tour to different venues. It is called troupe. That afternoon, Ranga visited the author with a few oranges, which the narrator thought was quite thoughtful of him. Thinking of how nice Ranga is, the author thought it would be a good deed to have him married to a girl just as nice as him. They chatted for a while, and then the narrator asked Ranga about his views on getting married. Ranga expresses that he does not intend on marrying now because he intends on finding the right girl. He cites the example of an officer who got married at the age of 30 to a woman aged 25. Now, since these are both adults, they would understand each other's actions and behavior. Whereas, suppose the narrator finds a girl who is very young, she could misunderstand his words or actions because she is not mature enough. He even mentions the love story of Sakuntala and Dushyanta from Mahabharata, and that he would not have fallen in love with Sakuntala if she were too young. In that case, Kalidas' play also would have not existed. That is why he intends on staying a bachelor till he finds the right girl. Next, here the narrator introduces us to a new character in the story named Ratna. She is 11 years old and is Rama Rao's niece. She had lost both her parents, so her uncle brought her from the big town to his home with him. She had a great voice and could play harmonium and veena. The narrator thought that Ranga and Ratna would make a great pair. Next paragraph, there is a word threshold. It means a strip of wood or stone forming the bottom of a doorway and crossed in entering a house or a room. Ratna was quite familiar with the narrator as he visited Rama's place frequently. The narrator thought of a plan to introduce Ratna to Ranga. He asked Rama to send Ratna to his place as he wanted to send some buttermilk for them. She came all dressed up. The narrator insisted upon her to sing a song while he sent someone to call Ranga. Just as she was singing, Ranga arrived at the door. Her melancholic voice touched his ears, and thus he did not want to interrupt the singing, so he stood at the door. He was curious to see the singer, and very cautiously he tried to have a look which disturbed the lighting in the room. On seeing a stranger, Ratna immediately stopped her singing. Next paragraph, the narrator compares Ranga's situation to the disappointment of dropping a best quality mango on the floor just before having to truly enjoy it. It was as if something great had been stolen before one could fully enjoy it. Ranga asked the narrator why he called for him. Ratna was shy and thus looked downwards, whereas Ranga stealthily glanced at her. There was an awkward silence in the room. Next paragraph. After things went a bit awkward, Ranga said that he feels it was his coming that stopped the singing, so he must leave. However, he did not. The narrator makes fun of him because he had no intention of going. He jokes about it and says, one cannot expect actions and words to match in the Kali Yuga. Next paragraph. After a few minutes of awkward silence, Ranga finally asked the narrator about the girl. Now the narrator compares the situation with the infamous story of the he-goat and the lion, where he is the he-goat and Ranga the lion. The narrator replies very cleverly and intends on seeing Ranga's interest in knowing about Ratna. Thus he says that who she is not of that much importance because he is already married and Ranga does not intend on marrying anytime soon. So dear students, here onwards I will tell you in the second video